my name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to the Harping on Rugby preview show. And joining me to look ahead to a sold-out Croke Park Classic is someone back earning his 93rd cap. A warm welcome back to Mr. Neil Keego Keegan.
How are we? The season, I said it last weekend, the season actually starts this weekend. The sun is out and bright, as you can see, but it's -2 outside, so we don't know what to wear when we leave the house.
That's it. Yeah, you never know. I remember being outdoors with a t-shirt just a few days ago. I think it was. You just don't know what it's going to do. But anyway, let's have a quick look at last weekend. We had seemed like a comfortable enough win over Benetton in the end.
Yeah, a lot of things are starting to happen now. The lads are coming back in. Everyone's looking good. Some really good performances. Very happy with Snyman. You know what I mean? The score was going to be the score. It was about getting there. And I think they did it well. Still a huge amount in the tank going into this weekend and into Europe and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, job done. Happy as you're going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of talk about difference between Frawley, the start we had, and the incredible try he scored early on, and then when he had to switch, Ross Byrne came on. It became kind of a different game. But listen, at that stage of the season, 5 points away from home. That's what you want. And
Yep.
when, like you say, we move on to this week. So let's start talking about that. This is our feature match of the week, which is, of course, Leinster v Munster in round 4 of the 24-25 BKT United Rugby Championship. The game is taking place at Croke Park on Saturday, October the 12th, kicking off at 5:45 p.m. TV coverage on RTE2, Premier Sports 1, and URC.tv. Leinster named their matchday squad on Friday, and if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be right there on the screen, or for pod listeners, it'll be in the program notes. Keego wants to talk about Andy Farrell doing Leinster a favour for his first point.
Yeah, and I'm not too sure that's the way I should phrase it going into an Interpro this weekend. Munster already think the world is against them. Just wait till they see what happens on the pitch. But anyway, no, I kind of think I think the big man has kind of forced Leinster's hand a wee bit when it comes to Frawley, when it comes to Osborne, and even I think maybe further down with kind of Larmer's inclusion, things like that in squads. He sees a lot, and Gibson Park a couple of years ago, he sees something that maybe the club game is a little bit, maybe a couple of years behind. You look at Gibson Park, but you look at the job what he asked of Frawley on the South Africa tour. He obviously asked him because he felt it was there. It just, with all the games he's played for Leinster all around the pitch, didn't quite get enough time in the 10 jersey that we've been asking for. But he was asked to do a lot on that tour and did it very, very well. Someone was on the radio recently talking about Leinster having a Michael Jordan type of character who will always call the ball on himself, similar to King Sexton. I think Frawley's that guy. And I think what we've seen so far, we've seen our 310s. Sam getting some experience over in South Africa, which is great for him. Ross Byrne plays a game as he plays a game, safe as houses. And I think Frawley's the man. And I think Andy Farrell kind of pushed that a little bit, similar to Osborne. Osborne is one of the first names on the team sheet when fit now. Put in there at full back, something that we, even in our chats, I don't think many people said, throw number 15 on his back while Keenan's away. Obviously, Farrell saw something there. And here he is. He's either 15 or he's 12, week in, week out.
Yeah, it's the dilemma we talked about when Ireland won that second test against South Africa. It was like, how the hell can Leinster leave Frawley and Osborne out of their 15 when they won't, when they're doing so well for Ireland, and we see them both here in their first really big sort of almost Champions Cup level match of the season. And when it comes to Frawley playing 10, it's like I say, we saw the first 3 weeks of the season. They played the 3 out halves that we have. It was almost like a perfect audition, and we saw how it went. And it really does look like now that they've listened to what we've been saying for the past while. That really should, been people, Leinster fans have been calling for Frawley. Frawley himself says he wants to play 10, and now he's been given his chance. And we just hope that he does get a full 80 minutes this time, or a decent shift anyway, to bed into the role. Like last week, he was kind of moved. I think it was in the first half. He had to move out. But listen, it's a great opportunity for him. And like you say, it's the difference between the coaches. Andy Farrell saw something, and now Leinster will be gaining the benefits. So definitely. Okay, so your second point is about them starting. It's more about Snyman, I'd say, at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I didn't appreciate him enough when he was in the red jersey. The few times he was in the red jersey, we're going to be throwing a few barbs going into tomorrow. But
really?
but the job he does, like I never really appreciated it because I'm kind of looking at how we can nullify him as opposed to embrace him, if you like. So we're embracing him in the blue jersey. Not only is he a monster of a human being, and someone pointed out recently that like his wingspan is just insane for someone that size. And his skill with the ball is massive too. So I think it does our second row a lot of favors. I know Big Joe is in and about the place. I think it's going to be great for Ryan as well to sit there and learn and push themselves and push him. But I think Snyman is going to be. Look, I don't want to jinx it so early in the season. The guy's going to be fit. The guy's going to be ready to go. He's a stubborn man, as a lot of South Africans are, and I think that stubborn nature is going to see him scoring a try tomorrow.
Yeah, you could see even it was just one appearance for Leinster last weekend, but you could still see the sort of the class that he has,
Mm-hmm.
and that they were, and how he's obviously picked up on the systems for Leinster. He's part of the lineouts. He's a big target in the lineouts, and he's big, strong carrier. All these, I mean, you see it. Classic South African situation where like he would probably walk into most test teams out there. But when you got someone like Eben Etzebeth, players like that, it's not going to happen for him. So you can see the class he brings to the Leinster team. And last week he was playing with Joe.
Yep.
This week he's playing with James Ryan. It'd be interesting to see how that partnership develops. And yeah, definitely there's a lot to look forward to there in that team. I mean, you've got like right throughout the team. Interesting, Liam Turner on the wing. I think
Yep.
Jimmy O'Brien went off early last week, so he's obviously not available. Interesting, they put Turner there. I thought we might see Henshaw this week. Obviously not, but of course, but Osborne and Ringrose looks like a great partnership there as
Mm-hmm.
well. Loads of options throughout the team. The back row, Conan, Vanderfleur, Doris, definitely with and the strength of the bench as well,
Yep.
with Baird and Deegan and all coming off. It's definitely, and the two Burns. On the bench, it looks like Harry Byrne is. They were playing Harry Byrne and Charlie Tector at 12
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the season, and it looks like that's kind of what Harry Burns got in store for him as well. So that kind of a extra little playmaker to come on in the 12 position. It'd be interesting to see how that pans out for sure. Okay, now it's time to have a look at Munster. They, of course, topped the regular season table last season, only to fall to eventual winners Glasgow in the semi-finals, while bowing out to Northampton in the last 16 of the Champions Cup. Their fortunes have been mixed this season, with a convincing enough win over the Ospreys, a narrow enough win over Connacht at either side of a disappointing defeat away to Zebra. Now, as you can see on the screen there, they do have something of a serious injury list at the moment, although from that graphic shown last weekend, a couple of players like Nankerville have been past fit, but still not a good list. Or Keego.
No, it's not. And look, these things happen. It's going to happen everywhere. I just think that the stadium's obviously going to be full. A lot of red jerseys in there, and this is the time. And I'm not going to be mean just yet. I'll go back to that, but this is where the support really needs to step up. When the team is having a tough time, a bit of a yo-yo start to the season, there's a lot of class in that team. I'm being nice. There's a lot of class, a lot of ability. Ireland's starting 10 is in there. This is where off the pitch they need to galvanize and really go back to the Munster support of old that would go and take over. Was it 2006 or whatever it was when they took over Lansdowne Road? They need to come up because their team needs them this weekend, and they need them for the certainly the first quarter of the season. Need them badly. So look, I'm looking forward to standing the hill with a load of Munster supporters and going back and forward with them. But they need to be there to support the team because there's a big injury list. There's still quite a bit of class on the pitch. But they need everybody. They need 23 people, and they need another 7 or 8 from the stands to make that noise. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Munster support does show up. That's the challenge.
Absolutely. And the team itself, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've started listening an audiobook to the Sexton autobiography. And of course, talking about the Sexton O'Gara years and the O'Gara Humphreys years before
Mm-hmm.
that. And, just from a broader, just to go outside the rivalry, from an Irish point of view, we do need something like
Yep.
that as well. And it really does look like that's coming down the pike with Frawley. And this is a clash between Frawley and Crowley, and it's very interesting to see how they face. And with of course Sam getting 3 starts out
Yep.
in South Africa at the same time as well. It's a very interesting time, and I think that kind of those three are kind of sort of becoming the maybe the future for the Irish 10 jersey. And of course, there'll be total civil conversations over social media over who should be getting that 10 jersey. But all I'm saying is that there's nobody in doubt that Crowley has that green 10 jersey at the moment. It is his. There is no doubt about that. But there's some competition coming, and we'll see how that develops. And yeah, go on.
Can I just say one thing? And I agree 100%. I think the only problem is I don't think we can use this game as a who's going to own the jersey next, because the teams that are playing against each other, there's obviously a selection difference. There's obviously that's Leinster's semi-final final team. This is not Munster's semi-final final team. So I do think we got to take that into account. Like, Crowley has a huge amount more work to do to keep that team moving on tomorrow, whereas Frawley will have a little bit more freedom to play with, just based on selection alone. So, like, without taking too much of the pressure off them, the pressure's on both teams. But I think it's a little bit unfair to kind of put them against each other tomorrow based on the selections. That's only my thoughts.
Keego, I didn't bring you on here to be that reasonable. Come on, seriously, what's the story?
I won't. When we record, I won't say that. We'll edit that out. Don't worry about
it. There you go.
I feel weird.
Yeah, the other version. No, you're absolutely right. But of course, no, it'll be. I don't think everything depends on what happens tomorrow, but it is good to see them both, and I think the conversation will start. We'll start having the conversations of competition for the jersey. I think that's what the Ireland team needs more than anything else. Okay, so now a quick look at the officials. We got Chris Busby holding the whistle with an all-Irish team there. The weather for Dublin 3 is described as partly cloudy and chilly, which is kind of what we kind of expect, I suppose, from this time in October. Not too much wind. It says no rain for now, so we'll take that as a result for sure. Okay, so Keego, before we move on, we'll have a quick look at the rest of the schedule this weekend. Now, there's a lot of other derbies going around the rugby world. Over in England, there's Gloucester v Bath and Leicester v Northampton. Across in Wales, Cardiff plays Scarlets. But I'd say most of our attention outside Croke Park will be on the Kingspan for that other Interpro.
Absolutely, it's been again. We're talking about yo-yo for Munster. It's been a tough start for Ulster, and we had quite a lot of positivity with their new coaching ticket and some good players in there. I think Cooney getting injured was a bit tough on them early in the season. Connacht are still trying to hang on to that momentum, and I think they would fancy going up there and turning them over. I think Ulster really need to figure out a way to navigate the first quarter of the season and get their season back on track. But look, it's Connacht's to lose.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation there. Ulster going through some transition big time in not just in coaching staff, but number 10 as well as a position they need to get right. And there's a lot going on there. So like you say, it's a good chance for Connacht to make a statement. All right. Okay, so quick shout out to the Irish women who faced their third and final match in the WXV1 competition. They played the USA, hoping for a high finish. I think it's possible for them to finish second in that competition, which would be quite an achievement. And that kicks off on Rugby Pass TV at 8:30 p.m. Irish time on Friday evening, so well worth a watch. Also, congrats to Simon Easterby and his emerging Ireland squad for 3 wins out of 3 on their South African trip. We'll be harping on that a bit more next week on our YouTube channel. Right, Keego, it's head on the block time. How do you see it going at Croker?
I look, it's a big Leinster win. Munster, as we say every week, they're going to start well. It's Leinster by 10 or 12.
Yeah, you have to say Leinster are favourites the way things are shaping up. I mean, there are areas where you got Klein and Tyburn as locks. I mean, I think that's going to be a very interesting battle there at the line-out time. I think they might go after us there. But so we like a bit like in Benetton, we need to get on the board early and establish ourselves. Otherwise, as you say, what the crowd, there'll be a decent Munster support there. They start to get behind them. Yeah. Anything can happen, but I think it's fair enough to say Leinster are the favourites. Okay, listen, go on.
Just last one for me. Sorry, there's one stat that Munster dominates the wrong word, but they're quite a bit ahead. We've conceded far too many penalties this season, and they may see that certainly in that second row. They may see an opportunity to squeeze penalties and squeeze kicks out. So concentration is key.
Yeah, they were shooting out a lot more on the blitzing against Benetton last weekend. They got it. If they get the wrong side of the ref with that early on, but of course also the breakdown as well. So there's a lot can happen there. Okay, we're going to leave it there, man. Many thanks for joining us again. What stand-up gigs do you have coming up?
So we're in writing phase at the moment. So in a couple of weeks, then we get moving again down in glamorous Wicklow, and then loads in Dublin. So yeah, it'll all be up and running soon.
Brilliant stuff. And as you see the links there on the screen and in the program notes to check out where Keego is going to be appearing next. Okay, listen, many thanks to y'all for checking out our latest preview show. If you can check out our weekly Harpin slot on Dublin South FM right after the 5 o'clock news, then be sure to enjoy the match wherever you are and leave a comment on our Facebook page after the full-time whistle. We will, of course, have a wrap pod for you this week, recording on Sunday evening. Hopefully you'll help us out by liking, sharing, and subscribing. In the meantime, stay safe, everyone. Slán.